Stonegate Farm, August 9th, walkthrough for levels 1, 2, and 3. We're going to do things a little differently on this course walk, and that we are going to do all 3 levels at one time and explain to you what the different difficulty is at each obstacle, so that if some of you are doing both levels, you only have to walk one course walk. Or if you're just interested in what the upper levels are doing. Where we're looking now, though, is going to be your holding area for those of you who want to stay in the shade, because we're starting south of the water jump and the judge's stand, which the judge is going to be over on the tall bridge for this go-round. So we'll go ahead and get started. Our first obstacle is the trench. You'll start between the 2 rocks, and we'll go down the slope. And we will start with level 1 first, and they will just walk all the way down through. And when we get to the end, we'll show you how it difference for the others. Level 2 will also be walking through, but level 3, when they get off the little hill there, they'll trot to the end. So only level 3 will trot to the end. In hand, you will send from the top. Please don't stand on the ties, as they are not secured. As you get to the end, level 1 will make a 90-degree angle turn and step up out over the little step. Level 2, and they have walked through, they will at the end do a 180-degree turn, so that they're facing back up the tunnel, and then they will back the rest of the way out. Level 3, as you remember, will be trotting down the trench, and when they get to the end, they will halt, do a 360, and both level 2 and level 3 will then trot to the snake. Those of you who are familiar with the snake, we have made it shorter. There's a lower snake and an upper snake, and we will start with the lower. We will do just the lower snake, so we are trotting here. Meanwhile, level 1 is walking. And so we are approaching the snake, and we will step through 10 of them. So we have just this curve, took a couple out here so that you may exit. All of you will exit at the walk. And next we have the Texas 2-step. So you've got plenty of room to get your turn and to get straight. Level 1 is simply going to walk across the Texas 2-step. Level 2 will walk across with a halt on the top, and when they are done, they will trot, and it's a very short trot, to the crossbuck. So level 2 is halting for 3 seconds on the top with all 4 feet. Meanwhile, level 3 is going to come down and halt on the last step, which is a little harder to do because momentum gets carrying you away a bit. And you will do a 360 on the bottom step, and then proceed at trot to number 3, which is the crossbuck. And level 1 will have been walking to it. Level 2 and 3 will have been trotting to it. Level 1 and level 2 will walk across it, or through it, I should say. Meanwhile, level 3 will do a halt in the middle. And there's an even number of poles, so decide where you want to be, but step 1, 2, and I would say straddle as you go over the number 3 one, and then 4, 5, 6. From here, you're walking to the deep water, which is right in front of you. And we have found that the horses go into the deep water easier with this wide opening. In hand, you will simply get their feet wet, all four, turn around and come out. And for level 1 riding, you will walk around the rock and come back out. Level 2, you will walk in and walk around the rock and dismount on the rock and get right back on. Level 3, you will get off on the rock, send the horse around, and get back on. So once again, in hand, they just get their feet wet, they turn around, come out. Level 1, they just walk around the rock. Level 2, they get off on the rock and get right back on. Level 3, they dismount on the rock, send the horse around the rock, and then continue. Riding, level 1 does not do the long lane. They will come up here, and it's not in place yet, but they will have a balance beam. Also, for the number 6 movement, the deep water lane, everyone in hand, levels 1, 2, and 3, will do the long balance beam. Meanwhile, back in here, for those of you who are riding that are level 2 and 3, after you've done your dismount at the rock, you will go down the whole lane, and we've got some weeds here, but level 1 will simply be walking down the middle of the lane, which is where the best footing is. Level 3 will be trotting down the lane. You might want to put your seatbelt on as they bounce pretty high. Meanwhile, where I'm standing up here is where the long balance beam is going to be. And that is for level 1s and all in hands for the deep water lane. So now we're approaching the end of the deep water lane. And you will come out at a walk right here, and there's good gravel there. Have to do a little more weeding. But then you'll come here and you'll turn right. And haven't cleaned this up too much yet. We built this bridge a year ago, but the ground on the other side was a little soft. We're going to use it. Pretty easy exercise here. And we do need to get the rope up a little higher. Somebody thought it was a swing and sat on it. Okay, so for level 1, you simply walk across the bridge, get all the way across, do a 360, and walk back. Level 2, you walk across the bridge, and in this middle, a 3-second halt. Then you walk the rest of the way across, step down while you're still in the limestone, do a 180, not a 360. A 180, have to correct that on my directives, and walk back across. Same for level 1. Level 3 will come to the middle of the bridge from obviously the other side, so they'll be facing here, and they will do a 180 on the bridge. There's good supports on either side to keep you from sliding off, and it's a fairly wide bridge. From here, the creek bridge, you're going to go ahead to the creek, which is down there, but that's not where we're getting at it. Now, none of this has been weeded yet, so it'll look much more friendly when it's more open and the horses can see where they're going. Sadie's checking out the water depth. Well, she just came out of the water. But you'll go in the creek here, and all of that will be weeded so that they can see the water and see where they're going. It's a good stone bottom, but you will walk up there. In hand, you will simply get them down in, get their feet wet, and get them back out. And then you will just go along the edge here. And again, all those weeds will be knocked down so everybody can see what the question is. And you come out, Yes, definitely overgrown. You come out right here. Now, for level 2, you will have a 3-second halt in the middle. And for level 3, you will have a 5-second halt in the middle. As you will exit at trot, and you've got a fairly good ways to get to your next obstacle. And while I'm walking there, just to remind you that when you are in hand and it requires trot, you only have to trot 5 strides after the obstacle, 5 strides before. You can do more, but we need to show you at least that much. So like right here where it's a longer stretch, you can be walking, and then as you approach, pick up the trot. Now, this is a little bit of a combination exercise in that you're going to go under the low limb, the first one. The second one has gotten too low, so we're taking that out. But if your horse has got any size to it all, you'll be going through it like that. This one here will be gone. But then you'll get over to the side. Now you'll have to listen and watch this very carefully. Level 1 will simply be walking over, like the dog just went, the lower logs. 1, 2, and 3. Level 2 will step over the lower log, and you'll do switchbacks. You'll turn, keeping the bigger log on your left, go around the bigger log, come back in, turn right, go over the smaller log, make a tight turn, keep the bigger, fatter log on your left. You turn around the fat log, make a right turn, and over the last. The difference for level 3 is that when you come over the middle log, so you're coming here and you're going over it, rather than doing the switchback turn, you're going to side pass over the log going out, and then you will come back in. So it's just like level 2 to start with, but then you half pass. Then you make the turn, and then you make the step out. I'll try to have a drawing of that to show you what it looks like. Okay, from here we go to the pickup sticks, which is the last obstacle for level 2 and level 3. Excuse me, level 1 and level 2. And we will have level 3 trot to it. Level 2 can walk. And level 1 can walk. Level 1, you'll have a tree on your right, and you'll be in the ring a little bit. You'll take the straight route across. So you're heading towards the raised back through. So you'll go over the angled rail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go up far enough. We hope to have the branches trimmed on that, but if not, the judge may be down here by now as it gets a little difficult to see, but the judge will be in the direction of the bridge or over by the pickup sticks so that you can acknowledge the judge and you're done. Now we'll go back and show you what level 2 and level 3 will be doing at the pickup sticks. And we have dogs being accessories here. You will come in over the same rail, but this time you'll go up and you'll go around the curves. 1, 2, 3, and then when you get here, even though you're aiming towards the ring, you're going to hang a little bit of a right, and you're going to exit here. And the horse can either put a foot in between these or just go over the point, but then you're all the way through. And that finishes it for level 2. Now to get back for level 3, which is a little bit more interesting because they've got more to do. Still entering the same place. So we're coming on back by the dog. You're going to enter and do the same curved rails that level 2 did, but then you're going to go out between the trees, heading towards the pond. So you'll go out onto the grass, go around, keep the tree on your left, come back in, come in, step in, turn right, and a little left, which then brings you into the sand ring. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the 4 rails on the ground because they blend in with the sand, but we have a wheel here. In hand, you will simply be trotting a circle inside the poles. So one way, change the direction the other way. We will be cantering the wheel under saddle. So as you enter the ring, you're going to make a little, come in straight, make a little left turn, right turn, excuse me. So then you can make a turn, go around the first rail, pick up your left lead canter. Your first rail will be at 12 o'clock, and you will canter the whole circle of rails. So this will be your first one, the second one, third one's by the dog, he won't be there. The fourth one is over by the bank jump. After you get over the fourth one, then you'll come diagonally across the ring. If these poles are still here, you'll just go just around them. And now we'll trot, change to right lead canter. And your first rail will be the one that you just finished on over by the bank. So you will canter the 4 rails going on the right rein. As you're looking at it going this direction, it's at 9 o'clock. But it's right next to the bank, heading towards the raised back through. So that's number 1. The dog is number 2. Number 3 is all the way across. And number 4 was your first one that you did going the other direction. Then between the last one and the bank, you will walk and you will step up. Now those of you that are in hand are allowed to go off to the side if they want and go up the little hill on the side, so you can send them up from here. Just be careful you don't get your rope tangled up, but they can come up from there under saddle, go up right over the post because that is the center of the obstacle. From here, you will continue to trot straight ahead to the ditch. Now, in my sport of eventing, we go over this, not in it. And this blue standard won't be here, but you are going to go a little bit over this way. You're not going straight to it because there's a culvert there and you don't want to get stuck in there. But you're still trotting. And then when you get to the edge here, you will walk all the way to the end. Do a 360 and back out. And get up far enough so you can see the judge on the bridge and acknowledge your judge. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I will also be posting printed directives of what I just showed you so that you can kind of follow that as you watch and use that for reference later. But I'm hoping this makes it a little easier for you that are riding 2 levels to only have to watch one walkthrough, and then you will have the sheet that tells you what you're doing. And yes, eventually I will have the patterns printed up. Well, not printed up, made up so that you can print them. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. fire me off an email at jackie@stonegatefarm.org or text me at 330-277-6964. And again, this is for Sunday, the 9th. Thank you.